get married.
Ha! You can't get married.
Why not?
Black people can't marry white people.
They were shows for kids. That's what they were for. And some of them were better than others. Some were kind of weird. Some were kind of stupid.
Are your kids coming home from school with strange ideas? Blaming white privilege for losing at tag? It's not just the classroom, it's their cartoons too. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. In this video, we'll show you how to reclaim your child's innocence.
Now the thing about these shows is that their primary goal was to entertain, as I remember.
What if you were born with a penis and you know you're a girl inside?
How bad have things gotten? Seriously. Like,
we'll give you practical tips to balance their media diet and bring back the joy of simple, carefree play. You think Paw Patrol is just about cute puppies? Think again. These days, kids' cartoons are serving up a whole lot more than chase scenes and silly jokes. Remember when kids could watch Tom and Jerry without a care in the world? Those cats and mice weren't worried about their social impact or checking their privilege. They were just trying to outsmart each other, and we loved it. But now kids are getting lectures on heavy topics before they can even tie their own shoes. Modern cartoons are sneaking in some pretty grown-up stuff. We're talking racism, gender identity, all that jazz. It's like they're trying to turn preschoolers into mini social justice warriors or something. I mean, come on, there's a time and place for everything.
It's the show Muppet Babies, in which Gonzo comes out as a gender-fluid cross-dresser. Yes, really.
Okay, people, we just need to get coverage. We'll start again in 5.
This is the cheesiest job I've ever done. Stuff like this doesn't actually happen in real life.
But do 5-year-olds really need to be worrying about systemic oppression? Get this, there's actually a clip from a popular kids show where characters are discussing systemic oppression in a cartoon for kids. What happened to just teaching them to share and be kind? Now they're expected to understand complex social issues before they can even spell oppression. It's crazy. Here's the thing, studies show that young kids can't really grasp these big ideas anyway. Their brains just aren't ready for it. So all this woke content isn't teaching them, it's just confusing them and maybe even scaring them a little.
But Gonzo, why didn't Vu tell us?
Because you all expected me to look a certain way. I don't want you to be upset with me.
You gotta realize it hurts to deal with racism. And when people act like it's not real, it makes it feel even worse.
You have to acknowledge racism.
Kids should be learning about the world through play and fun, not heavy-handed political messages. But wait, it gets worse. These shows aren't just touching on these topics now and then. They're making them central themes. It's like every episode has to have some kind of social justice lesson. What happened to just letting kids be kids? So what's the real difference between old cartoons and these new woke ones?
In the past, this plot point was always played for laughs, right? It was supposed to be funny. The point was that boys look stupid in girls' clothes, and we should laugh about it.
You kids better work on this before the wedding.
Whoa, that's just for the script. We only just met today.
The old ones let kids escape into a world of imagination and fun. The new ones? They're trying to turn playtime into a political science class. It's like they forgot that childhood is supposed to be carefree. Now, I know what you're thinking. It can't be that bad, right? Well, let's take a look at how this plays out in real life. Trust me, you're gonna want to see this. Remember when playing cowboys and Indians was just innocent fun? Not anymore. Imagine a kid refusing to play because it's problematic. Sounds crazy, right? But it's happening, and you won't believe why. Meet Timmy and Tommy. They're brothers, same family, but might as well be from different planets. Timmy's 10, grew up watching SpongeBob and all those classic cartoons we loved. Tommy, he's only 5, but he's getting a steady diet of this new woke stuff, and let me tell you, it shows. So picture this, the family's at the park. Timmy's having a blast, building massive sandcastles, pretending he's a king defending his fort from dragons. Good old-fashioned kid stuff, right? But Tommy, he's just standing there, looking worried. Why?
First to your physical body parts, remember? But there is also something called gender, which is how you feel inside your body and who you know yourself.
Get this, he's concerned about cultural appropriation in his brother's sand kingdom. I'm not making this up.
Because they would say that's so silly and ridiculous, which it is. But now it's the the goal is quite the opposite of that, which is, among other things, extremely creepy.
The way your body looks on the outside is only part of the story.
What?
Stay with me, gang.
It gets worse. Timmy suggests they play cowboys and Indians. Remember that game? We all played it as kids, but Tommy straight up refuses, says it's problematic and might offend someone. A 5-year-old kid, folks, using words like problematic instead of just having fun. Now here's the thing, experts are saying this isn't good for kids. All this heavy stuff in cartoons, it's messing with their play. And play isn't just fun, it's how kids learn. They're supposed to be using their imaginations, not worrying about offending someone with their make-believe games. Studies show that kids who get to just be kids, you know, playing without all these adult worries, they end up better at dealing with people. They figure out how to get along.
I was waiting because, well, first of all, I didn't mean to misgender the horses. That's actually not a horse, that's a unicorn, it would seem. But you know how bad it's gotten?
Teachings that it used to be. What is this? All right, so apparently the shows have gotten pretty bad. I was not expecting it to be
how to share, all that good stuff. But when we force all these big ideas on them too early, we're robbing them of that chance to just be little and figure things out on their own. But don't worry, there's hope. Watch what happens next at the park. This little scene might just restore your faith in good old-fashioned play. So how are these woke cartoons really affecting kids' imaginations? Well, just look at Tommy. Instead of dreaming up wild adventures, he's policing his own thoughts for political correctness. It's like we've taken the magic out of being a kid and replaced it with a mini social studies class.
Think you're a girl now!
Now the point is that wearing girls' clothes is great and courageous and more boys should try it.
That was so weird.
Now I know what you're thinking. This is nuts. What can we do about it? Well, stick around because we're about to dive into some real practical stuff parents can do to bring back the joy in their kids' playtime. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Look, here's the deal. Kids need to be kids. We gotta let them have their innocence, you know? All this heavy stuff in cartoons, it's messing with their heads. They don't need to be worrying about systemic whatever or checking their privilege. They need to be playing, using their imagination, just being little goofballs. So here's what you gotta do. Pay attention to what your kids are watching. I mean, really pay attention. It matters way more than you think. These shows are shaping how they see the world, and if we're not careful, we're gonna end up with a bunch of mini adults who never got to enjoy being kids. Think about it.
School standpoint. And almost none of them have any connection to racism. So this is not a thing that's actually happening. And yet
Telling our children this is just furthering a divide and furthering many political activists that are yelling and screaming in the streets for nothing like I was in 2017.
Do you want your kids stressed out about offending someone when they're playing make-believe? Or do you want them building forts and having epic battles with their stuffed animals? The future's gonna be weird if we don't fix this now. So let's bring back the fun, all right?